Checking in, everybody. Checking in, man. I just had a hell of a weekend. And I did a live farmers market one. So, I do that nutritional group right at my job and stuff. And I have a guest speaker coming next week for my nutritional group. Let's get this show started. RFK uh, putting in some work. That's why they was drilling him, is because now he's stepping up to save our kids and us from these food diets. Because if our kids is not eating a lot of things with food diets, that's going to allow us not to be cautious to not to eat things with a lot of food dyes. So to get this show started, winter has already been here. I didn't have enough room, but I did put a little thumbnail in there about a board game, about receiving welfare and food stamps. Man, I didn't know that thing was out during the Jimmy Carter era, and it got banned. And I mean, they had pieces, and they selling this board game on eBay. And I'm not affiliated with the eBay, but it's a trip. They're selling this board game. This is hilarious. But like our brother, may he rest in peace. I think it's his 3rd-year anniversary. The confident, assertive, intelligent, assertive brother, Kevin Samuels, because May is coming, and winter is already here, and it's been here. And let's get this show started. Because I said the last time, I'm going to make sure that I can find that video. So, on the winter is coming, but in the same tape, man, I got some crazy shit to show y'all about that board game. And these other people? A social worker. Yeah, a social worker going to break some things now. But first of all, this is how I used to look. What our brother is saying, and I'm going to stop it right there. Let's bag this up. Now we're going to hear from Kevin first, and then we're might hear from him on and off. So, fair use. To the screen, baby. Because, man, this thing is going to be outrageous.
You guys have been living in a fantasy land. You think that it's not going to happen. You think there's going to be some kind of bailout. There's going to be something else. There's going to be nothing. People right now are being put on the streets. In Dallas-Fort Worth, the constables are moving people out, putting their stuff on the front yard. You want to know what's coming, ladies? They're decriminalizing the oldest profession in the book. In New York City right now, the governor, the mayor said we're not going after people who are loitering the streets. So, like it or not, some parts of Manhattan, some parts of the 5 boroughs have been turned into
He said that
right
years
there
ago.
in the streets. Go to World Star, you'll see the video yourself. Broad daylight, transactions happening on a stoplight. Guess what?
And
That's New York.
Road.
Guess where else it's about to come? California.
Oakland. San Diego.
States across the country, because why? There's not enough money to give to people. And if you're a woman and you have a regular job, let's just look at it. If you were not an essential worker during the pandemic, you are at risk. I was in Neiman Marcus the day they shut the world down, and I had never seen panic like that before. And all those women's eyes, because many of them have been with that company for 10, 20, 10, 5, 10, 20, 5, 10, 15, 20 years. All they had done is retail.
Wow.
Neiman Marcus is on the verge of bankruptcy, and the only thing that saved Neiman Marcus was the pandemic. Those women over there know they are coming back. And when the world stops again, many of these 40-year-old women are not going to have a job to go to and have no skills in the environment. Ladies,
here it comes.
Winter is coming. Winter is coming. Winter is coming, and when winter comes, It does not, and this is not just the winter. We are heading into what I'm going to call the long night. It's
What I
not going to
mean?
just be 3 months. It's not going to just be 6 months. We're talking about a global reset for the world.
Global reset for the world. See? And then we talk about these tariffs and the changing and this Trump administration. See? And it's a reset. The other administrations had many a times on my other video. Back in the Carter days and in no, back in the Clinton days and in the Obama days. On those two videos where they was about to pull the trigger and do some tariffs, but they changed their mind. So like, and I think he said that part about they can't afford to pay everybody.
The world, I have been studying this for the better part of 2 years. Look at what's going on in South Korea and Japan. You think it's a joke? You think it's a game? There are villages in Japan where people are outnumbered by freaking dolls. I'm not kidding. Japan is dying. An
And he
aging
said that
population
years ago.
and a group of people who are not dating. They're not dating. They're not marrying. They're not getting together. You know what it's called? Hikomori. Socially withdrawn. These I'm talking about men 40,
Hear you.
45 and under.
So, like I said, Kevin said, I think in this part right here,
Winter is coming. Winter is coming, and when winter comes, it does not. And this is not just the winter. We are heading into what I'm going to call the
no,
long night. It's
long
not going to
night.
just be 3 months. It's not going to just be 6 months. We're talking about a global reset for the world.
And that's why the left is
The
tripping, y'all.
world, I have been studying this for the better part of 2 years. Look at what's going on in South Korea and Japan. You think it's a joke? You think it's a game? There are villages in Japan where people are outnumbered by freaking dolls. I'm not kidding. Japan is dying. An aging population and a group of people who are not dating.
So, winter is here, y'all, because it's like what the Godfather, the brother man said. My dad used to say that, stepdad. They just can't afford to pay out all of these bills. And here's proof the reason why they can't afford to pay all these bills. See, it's not that we only have populations, but then we got these sectors where this homeless crisis. People was already homeless before the pandemic, and things just made things worse. But then it's things like this that is going on. Like it say on the thumbnail, trip off of this. This is a generational curse, and they actually had a board game. I cannot believe this. A real actual board game was in the midst. Did anybody know anything about that? That's the part that cracks me up. In it right here. Trip this. And then you got people really playing the board game like it's really like it's really fun. And I guess it is. Shit, if you can afford to buy it, fair use. Because man, it's right here.
Going well, but is missing that key 1980s political stunt that helps to close the night out right? Then I've got just what you need to fill in the gap. This is Public Assistance, the 1980 board game made in protest of the Carter administration's welfare policies. And it approaches this subject with all the subtlety of a rocket launcher to a watermelon. The object of the game is simple. Move around the board collecting as much money as possible until someone goes around the board 12 times to simulate a year. Winner is the one with the most money after taxes. When moving, you have two paths that you can move through: the working person's rut or the able-bodied welfare recipient's promenade. Let's look at what each path has to offer. The working person's rut rewards ambitious job seekers with an obscene amount of bills, fees, and taxes, but also—
Did you hear that? Rewards them with bills, fees, and taxes. Now, what's
allows them to take these self-employment and union job paths, which contain the exact same thing. The path that you want to be on is the welfare promenade, which allows you many extra opportunities to make money, such as betting on horses, committing different crimes in the Saturday night sections, and I remind
now check out that committed many crimes. Listen to
money,
this.
such as betting on horses, committing different crimes.
What crimes? Drugs, armed robbery. Do y'all see that? Prostitution, gambling, and they got a whole lot of gambling things that's on that road. Go to jail, go to jail, go to jail. This is crazy. Yeah, collect. What else?
Crimes in the Saturday night sections, and I remind you that this was sold in stores, having illegitimate children which are marked with their own separate pieces. The game
Baby daddies. Deadbeat dad and baby mamas and man.
mentions that there is no limit to the amount of kids you can have by randomly calling out some 32-year-old Baltimore woman with 22 kids for some reason. And since we're already here, let's go ahead and dive down the wild facts rabbit hole because trust me, we are just getting started with this nonsense. Once the game reaches the end, only players in the working person's rut are taxed, which could end up having 50% of their money stolen by the government. Players in the working person's rut cannot play the horses or the lottery at the beginning of their turn because they, quote, don't have time to go to the track and work too hard to squander their money on the lottery. If a welfare recipient is caught while committing a crime, they are sent to the jail circle, which only carries spaces with positive outcomes. The game comes...
Did y'all hear that? I mean, like, man. It's bad enough that it's like, do you know, apparently, generational curses, let's just blow the whistle on that. Generational curses. But man, this would have just been mesmerizing to see this as a commercial on TV. Man, this is just too crazy. I mean, what else this game does? Let's just hear the rest.
Comes with optional rules and ideas. One of them being to add realism to the game by taking the game to the waiting room of your local welfare office and inviting two people there to join you for a game. Okay. So the game also comes with chance-style cards called Welfare Benefits and Working Person's Burdens. Most of the benefits cards follow the theme of the Get Out of Getting a Job card, or the Pickpocket a Social Worker card. You know, nothing too special. The burdens are the real issue here, with some of them being too awful for me to mention on this show. However, this group has produced the single wildest sentence I have ever read on a chance card, which I will now read for you, word for word. Working person's burden. You are up for a high-paying promotion, but government affirmative action rules require that a disadvantaged minority...
Well, DI, minority, affirmative action, DI.
homosexual Buddhist female be promoted over you, lose $500. Oh boy. As you can probably imagine, this bad boy garnered a little controversy for, you know, pretty much everything. It managed to sell rather okay before it was dropped by pretty much every store, after which the marketing team slapped this on the box art and called it a day. I've included all of the game's files and scans in the description if you want to look for yourself, content warning on the burden cards, but now it's time to go over what we have learned from this game. I have no idea. Comment the
So, you know, go over there and check out the rest of that video. That's pretty much all of it there. But man, ain't this some buck wild stuff? But if you think that's wild, I only sent it there just to get over here to show y'all some of this stuff over here. And this is a nice short clip, fair use. And your boy MC, I can remember selling my food stamps, you know, flipping them. But then I remember back in the day. Look, food stamps are so crazy. So crazy. I can remember sneaking some out of mom's purse. Sneaking them, learning what to do with the books. I took food stamps at one time. I would buy something so I can have some change to play Miss Pac-Man and asteroids. And I would buy something all the way up like a soda and some chips to get 75 cents back. Soda and some chips to get another 75 cents back. And I mean, I did it for all sort of, so I can go to the arcade. But I got all these snacks. And I'm trying to sell a bag of chips to my friends so I can get the cash out of change back. But I'm not, I'm ashamed to even let them know, like, yeah, I got some food stamps. And man, and all I have to do is that I should have been showing up at my stepfather's appliance store to work so I can have cash. But by the time I make that decision, it's too late to do anything. And then it went from doing them food stamps to flipping them that way for alcohol. Man, I'm just telling you. And that's what this next video is going to be jumping off right now about. Check this out. Fair use on this one.
Last week.
The representative introducing it is calling for people using food stamps to be held accountable. House Bill 208 calls for people who receive monetary public assistance, such as food stamps, to be drug tested to keep the aid.
I think the demand out there is for it. People are sick and tired of seeing their tax dollars go to people that won't work and try. And we're encouraging people to stay on drugs. We need to encourage people to get off of drugs. We need to help families.
Well,
while there may be some who disagree with this proposed requirement, several people we caught up with say this is a good idea.
I'm very much in favor of it. I'm very much in favor of anything that'll cut down on the use of drugs in our area because it is getting totally out of hand.
Maybe.
Some think it will cut.
So think about it. You do see people out there on the street, but where's they getting that little? See, so when you're making encampments and little pockets and little cliques and little alleys and little vacant houses. See, I came from the vacant houses and the alleys in South Central. That's where I came from. And the little mini mart stores with laundromats and gas stations. Sure, I'm that guy with that blue bottle on my pocket, a basket and all of that, man. There ain't no telling what I'm going to have. Backpack, but I'm going to have that squeegee bottle, and then I'm going to have some Armor All too. So, and then it just seemed like 30 days for that. 30 days is a long ass time. So you got to have a whole lot to do in between time to just, keep up with that buzz or to keep that 40 ounce full.
Down on the misuse of food stamps.
I agree with that. You can come in a grocery store and see someone come out with 20 or more cartons of pop. I know they're not drinking all that.
Howard, along with Representative Napier, believes some food stamp recipients sell groceries for drugs. Napier says he has confidence that the bill will continue to receive positive feedback in state legislature in coming weeks. In Breathitt County, Sean Evans, WYMT 57 Mountain News.
Wow. So did y'all see that? That's what I'm talking about. They're trying to ban that shit. They're like, stop it. But now let's keep this spindle moving because I know I got baby girl in there and we want to hear what a caseworker view is on it. Do you know what? What is a caseworker? Now, this the person I used to see at the GR office while my beer be on the outside. See, it got that bad that I couldn't even get back to GR no more. And then I'm in there all day. And guess the reason why I'm in there all day? Because I hid my beer. I hid my beer down there on Grand Street right over there, and I'm nervous. And then when they call my name, I leave. After I go back there and I go back out through the security gate, as soon as I got finished seeing them. But I'm not knowing that didn't call me again to go get me a squid, come back in there, put some chewing gum. I mean, it's too much work to be an alcoholic and trying to get food stamps. So it got to the point where I had that allergic reaction. I couldn't even make it down there for no food stamps or no cash aid. And then once I got arrested a few times, all I was getting was food stamps. So now they're talking about some testing. Oh man, it's gonna be some smoke in the city, man. Golly, people gonna have to use their brain now. They're gonna have to think real hard. Like, damn, man, shit, how in the hell I'm gonna get some money? So let's get over here to this next video. Now we done seen the board game and this, and where's those baby girls at? But we forgot to see this part on the food diet.
The greatest industrial power in the world.
So let's check out this fair use. Ready? Here we go.
This is a guy that's willing to speak the hard truths and stand up for everyday Americans. Even when it's not popular, he stands up, he makes it happen. Let's join me in welcoming him, a warrior for America's children,
Wham!
RFK Jr.
You can just hear a little bit of voice.
Thank you, Governor Morrissey. Thank you, Speaker Schultz. Thank you to Dr. Mark Hyman, who's been my friend and partner on these issues for over 20 years. Thanks, Vonnie Harry, who's been an extraordinary leader. And then Marty McCary, I'm so grateful that you agreed to join the administration. And Jay Bhattacharya, will you guys come up here and stand behind me? We have an amazing team at HHS. When my uncle was president in the 1960s, we had the healthiest people in the world.
Yeah.
And one of the basic assumptions of our country was that because we were robust people, because we were vigorous, because we were tough, we had what my uncle called this beef jerky toughness, that was responsible for our country being the land of the brave and the home of the free. The greatest industrial power in the world.
That's right.
The wealthiest country. We owned half the wealth on earth.
Ooh, that's what Trump trying to get us
part
back
of that
to.
was because of the vigor of our society. And that's one of the reasons he started the Presidential Council on Physical Fitness, because he saw that he felt that Americans were getting soft. And it was going to steal from us and erode all of our leadership, our moral authority, and our values, and our role as an exemplary nation. And since his death, we've had this extraordinary chronic disease epidemic. When my uncle was president, 3% of American kids had chronic disease. Today, it's around 60%. And these are a broad category, the ones that Marty mentioned, like ADHD, the neurological disorders, ADD, ADHD, speech delay, language delay, tics, Tourette syndrome, narcolepsy, ASD, and autism.
Right.
All of
And now the reason why I really wanted to put that there, because this is some of the things that was going through. It's like practically everybody I'm knowing that have kids now, or that was a millennial, say they had some sort of ADHD. Dude, you know, this is not by coincidence. Now, when we was in school, everybody didn't have no ADHD and tics and all of this, let alone being having diabetes. Everybody didn't have that, so something's what's going on. And then, like my mentor Dick Gregory used to say, man, hey, he's saying the same thing that this man right here was saying. So they'll just give y'all some things to check out. Go and look at the clip. He said this yesterday, and he keep on saying it. And then, man, this is some wild stuff. And then you look at the kids, and you can see, even while we was growing up and coming into our adulthood, we start noticing that the little girls and then the news would do a quick newscast. This when the news was more of the news, and say, yeah, it's this in the milk, and that in the milk. And then they believe it's from processed food. So be careful. Now let's reduce stuff out, and all that stuff, those kind of things, all in the 80s. So I got one more quick clip to show y'all to end this show, and it might be another RF one, but all of those women. Oh yeah, we gotta look at the girls, because these females be cracking me up. They be on one. And then that one's right about here. So we got the caseworker. And, it's comedy time. But check out this. Food stamp. Get ready. Fair use.
Like if you're interviewing me, ask the question.
So I got a question for you.
Hey, what's going on?
Would you rather get $250 in food stamps or go to dinner with Soulja Boy?
Food stamps. Bro, that's how fast they were answering, bro.
50 in food stamps or dinner with Soulja Boy?
Food stamps.
Food stamps? What the fuck?
This is crazy. You just can't make this up. One more. They're choosing food stamps over a date. Over a date where they can get possible cash. Food stamp. Check this out.
$250 in food stamps or dinner with Soulja Boy.
Food stamps.
200.
So this is the kind of nonsense that's jumping off out there. But to each his own, right? So let's get back to this again, and let's do one more.
There's a bunch of obese people on this app losing their shit because President Trump, along with RFK Jr., wants to eliminate the purchase of junk food with food stamps. And that's a good thing. Look, if you want to feed that crap to your kids, you need to do it on your own dime, not the American taxpayers' dime. We're not here to help your children get diabetes. I went to pick up my daughter from school yesterday, and 80% of the kids that were leaving school were morbidly obese. I'm fucking Gen X. We didn't see any of that shit.
I agree.
Everybody was healthy.
Yep.
Everybody was fit. We need to snip this shit in the butt now. It's a health crisis, and you shouldn't want to give that shit to your kids anyway.
All right. I said we need to nip this shit in the pizzette. Now, this is a serious health ass crisis. And it ain't no ands and buts about it. So it's like, this shit is like, here it is. All these kids is and they get this cognitive neurological things that are going on. It seems like there's no motivation, and then they got the cell phone showing them things. Then if they're getting attacked from the cell phone to foods to ingredients to plastic bottles, it ain't no telling where the food coloring. And then they say the food coloring has the petroleum type of stuff, gas in it. Come on. What is that about? Let alone, some people told me, well, some stuff do seem to stir you up a lot. So, stir you up a lot. Like it's some got like eviction patterns and stuff, because I notice sometimes I be real I don't know if I'm stressed out, but I go real crazy for Cheetos or the grandma peanut butter cookies. And man, it's a trip. But let's hear what this caseworker is going to say about these other ones, and we're going to end this show. And it's fair use. Go over there and check out this caseworker. She has a channel. This is Crystal, the social worker. And then she like breaking out. So she's going to be breaking out things during this administration.
Given my history as a welfare caseworker, we're going to watch a few of their videos together, and I'll give my thoughts at the end.
Okay, y'all just mad because I get 3 canned food stamps. So what? I get all kind of snacks while I'm sitting here chilling or whatever, paying no bills. No bills. I'm on government assistance. My son back there with his snacks. Government assistance, 3 canned food.
I just got a letter from DHS. They have cut off my food stamps, cash assistance, disability for me, all 6 of my kids, and my Section 8. What do they expect me to do? I can't go out and get a job. I have been getting welfare since I was 19 years old.
19 years old. So, you know, people been watching her rage and stuff right on the internet, but now she's going to speed it up. And
on rent, yes, living rent free, 5-bedroom house, yes, faithfully 3K from the plug with the food stamps. Yeah, we eating over here. Yeah, we hood rich over here, baby. Y'all just mad out there. Y'all mad. Y'all can stay mad. I don't care. Stay mad, baby, because I'm hood rich.
And make more money than you do and still drive a nice vehicle. Doesn't mean you need to go rat me out. And how did you even know that I drive? I never posted my vehicle on any social media. Trying to force me to sell my Tahoe. No.
No, check that out. They're out here bragging like it's something that they really earned. But now we finna get to what she's finna talk about.
Engagement. It's rage bait. There is a stigma associated with receiving welfare benefits. That's why a lot of people who receive the benefits are sometimes ashamed that they even have to ask the government for help. This is pure rage bait from both of these creators. And if you don't believe me, I'm going to show you proof. So this creator said she was from Michigan, right? And she says she has 6 kids. If she is a single mom with 6 kids, that means there are 7 people in her household. The maximum amount of SNAP benefits that you can get in the state of Michigan for 7 people is $1,536. That's it. And that is if you have no income at all. The more income you have, the smaller that number gets. So with her saying that she also gets $900 cash benefits, that will lower the amount. She also said that everybody in her house get a disability check. That will lower the amount. But if she was a household of 7 with no cash income at all, the most that she would be able to get would be the $1,536. Nobody is getting $3,000 a month in SNAP benefits. That is an extremely rare case. As you can see here, if you have a household of 8, you're getting $1,756. Each additional person after that, they add $220. So for you to get over $3,000 in EBT benefits, you would have to have like 15 people in your household.
Woo!
And most households don't have that many people. So I'm not saying it's impossible to get $3,000 in food stamp benefits. I'm saying that it is extremely rare. She is using the rage that is associated with people who receive SNAP benefits to generate comments, likes, and engagement on her videos. That is it. And look, there's...
And then, so in other words, she would be called upon, and someone probably did snitch, because it's like they know you're getting that TikTok money too. You and the other lady. So it's like that's what they're upset. Like if they don't rack up these views in enough time, then their pocket's gonna be hurting. Then they're gonna be losing those cards and those extra benefits and that 5-bedroom house. So, you know, just feel free to go over there and check out the social worker, the rest of the channel. And I'd like to thank y'all for tuning in. to the show. And hopefully I can find me some pop music to put up so I can make some good shorts with me and my son. Until then, MC signing out. Share the video. And I'm out.